Hi, BooTube. I know I'm not wearing pajamas. um, this is my reaction rant to Supergirl Season 2. Hang on, let me adjust this. Supergirl Season 2, Episode 2, titled The Last Children of Krypton. I'm gonna scatter some things, like I said in previous videos, especially with these certain certain shows. I'm just gonna do the main points, but it's gonna scatter a little bit because I just want to talk to separate things differently. You know what I mean? But like The Last Children of Krypton. First off, we get a very interesting interaction between Kara and her new boss, who happens to be a very well-known comic book character named Snapper Carr. From what I remember, Snapper Carr had no powers, but apparently he now has the ability for teleportation. I had no idea that was possible, but his full name is Lucas Snapper Carr. He's associated with the Justice League, the Young Justice, the Blasters, and Checkmate. Those last two I don't recognize, and apparently he has teleportation abilities. I had no idea about that either. Snapper has made appearances before, like the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited animation, where he pretty much was a young television news reporter, and he also made another animated appearance with Young Justice, where apparently in Young Justice he's a high school teacher at the school that McGann and Connor go to, from what I remember. And he's also a mentor to the Young Justice later on in season 2, from what I remember. And now he's here in Supergirl, and apparently he's the editor-in-chief at Catco magazine. But anyway, another cool thing, like another familiar face. But apparently, when Kat introduces Kara to her new boss, Snapper Carr, he doesn't like her very much, and he refuses to acknowledge that, she's a reporter. He's like, "Oh, you're not a reporter. You don't work here." And because of that, he refuses to give her any assignments because he doesn't believe that, she works there, because he doesn't believe, she's good enough to be a reporter, that she didn't put in the work for it, right? But anyway, at the same time, with Clark, aka Superman, around, Kara and Clark have been operating together in National City, catching bad guys and all that. Just before that, though, he decides he needs to go back to Metropolis, back to Lois and back to the Daily Planet, right? Before that happens, though, they encounter Corbin. Remember Corbin, where is his name? John Corbin was that assassin dude that tried to kill Lena Luthor, but got killed by Lena. Well, he got into a fight with Alex and ended up getting shot and killed by Lena because she was protecting Alex. But apparently, like we saw in the end of the first episode, his body ended up getting taken by Cadmus, revived, and turned into Metallo, which I thought was pretty cool because, yes, that is his name in the comics, John Corbin. So I was like, that name is way too familiar, and I was like, it is Metallo in the comics. So it was pretty cool seeing him in action, and I thought it was really cool because when they fought against him, because in the beginning they thought, he was just a normal guy, like, attempting suicide, because he was like in an overpass, I think like an overpass or a bridge, and he looks like he's about to jump and everything, and they're all trying to convince him, hey, don't jump and all that stuff. And then he turns around, they're like, oh my god, it's Corbin, he's alive. And then Kryptonite shoots Superman, and Supergirl pretty much held out her own pretty damn well. But in the end, she gets shot up by him. But what I thought was interesting is when Superman carries Supergirl back to the DEO, there was this very iconic image that he did, because she was all limp in his arms and he's carrying her like that. That is actually a very well-known image in DC Comics. I think it was Crisis, forgot the name of it. Something to do with Crisis on Two Earths, I believe. And I know that comic in general has like Superman carrying a dead Supergirl on the cover, and it literally mirror imaged that comic book cover, and I was like, oh my god, please tell me she's not dead already. And we're only on season 2 of Supergirl, guys. I know she's gonna be in the 4-part crossover, so she can't be dead, right? But realizing that Corbin is alive and now carrying a kryptonite weapon, they ask Winn to make like an anti-kryptonite suit for both Kara and Clark so they could, defeat Metallo, right? And at the same time, Superman's pissed because he's like, how on earth did Corbin get his hands on a kryptonite on his chest when Jean said himself that the DEO is the only place that has the kryptonite. No one else has kryptonite. So he's like, how the heck did someone else outside the DEO end up with kryptonite? I almost got killed. Kara almost got killed, right? So he's pissed. And then we find out from Jean and even Alex that apparently there is some kryptonite that went missing from their storages, and they deduced that apparently there might be a mole in the DEO who managed to smuggle kryptonite out and apparently give it to Cadmus, because at the same time Cadmus also made themselves known worldwide. They took over every screen around National City announcing, we are Cadmus, we're gonna get rid of all these aliens and all that stuff. And so that's when, the DEO deduced that there's a mole inside the DEO who smuggled the kryptonite out and gave it to most likely Cadmus, because Cadmus is the one responsible for Metallo, right? And during that time, hang on. Sorry, I was just trying to put my wits together. I didn't want to go out of order. So anyway, back at Cadmus, there were some people who were like, it was too early for Metallo to go out. He failed and all that stuff. And Metallo's like, give me a second chance. And the leader, this one lady, I don't know her real name, but she seems to be a very important person in Cadmus, right? Hell, she might even be the leader. But she's like, you'll get your second chance, and we're gonna go with phase 2. And they end up grabbing the guy that disagreed about Metallo in the first place. They ended up taking him and making him for phase 2. And it turns out phase 2 was pretty much making that one guy also a Metallo. So when they cornered Corbin, they find out that Corbin was just a distraction and that the second Metallo was sent out to Metropolis and goes on rampage in Metropolis. And they realize, we have to work as a team. We have to split up at the same time work as a team. So they get these not really suits, but they're these chest plate looking things that Winn created to help Kara and Clark. They're anti-kryptonite shield thingies that pretty much cover their emblems on their suits. Apparently it protects them from kryptonite, but not that long, right? And so Kara and Alex end up taking on Corbin Metallo, while Superman, and this is the cool part, Superman tag teams with Martian Manhunter. I was waiting for that for the longest time. They were such good friends in the animation series, and I really want to see them work together, put aside their differences. And despite being kind of not in good terms, kind of in the beginning of this, they somewhat see eye to eye in a way. They do have moments, but I'm not going to get into that. But seeing them tag team together against the second Metallo in Metropolis was really, really cool. And seeing Alex in that kryptonite suit thing that she used, remember when I think Alex was brainwashed in season 1 toward the end and fought Kara in the kryptonite looking suit? It was cool seeing her in that suit again, kicking butt with Kara against Corbin. I really geeked out when I saw Superman and Martian Manhunter team up against the second Metallo. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. And the fact that they managed to the finishing blow for the Metropolis Metallo was pretty much Martian Manhunter phasing his arm, this part of his hand, into the guy's chest and grabbing the kryptonite out, which I thought was pretty sick and kind of gruesome. And Alex being such a, I can't say the word, a bad ASS, because, oh my god, like, she was punching, kicking, like she was Kryptonian herself in that suit. It was amazing. And her just throwing that metal rod right in the middle of the dude's chest. Bye-bye, Corbin. Metallo did not last long. I'm surprised because, Metallo is a very well-known Superman villain, and the fact that he didn't last very long, like only 2 episodes, man. Like, and technically we only saw him at the end of episode 1, so technically like an episode and an episode and 1/4. But anyway, I really love the Superman Martian Manhunter team up, and I like the fact that in this episode we got some hostility between the sisters, Alex and Kara, because Kara's been paying more attention to Clark, right? But in the end, they made up and they worked brilliantly together, and I love seeing some sister team up action. It was really cool to see. But anyway, in the end, Hank, aka Jean, agrees. The rest of this kryptonite, I'm giving it to you, Superman. You could do whatever you want with it. And so Superman has to leave. He has to go back to Metropolis. He does have his day job at the Daily Planet. Freaking Perry White is like, ah, where are you, and all that stuff. And he has his lady, he has Lois Lane. He has to go back, and plus Metropolis needs their superhero. They can't have 2 superheroes in National City while Metropolis loses theirs, right? So he's saying goodbye, and of course there's like a tearful, like, cute moment between Kara and Clark, because they're cousins, and they need each other in lives because they understand each other. They're from Krypton, who better to understand Superman than Supergirl, and vice versa, and it's very heartfelt and sad. You could tell that they're both upset that they have to separate because they don't want to, but they have to. And there was this cute moment though, when Superman takes the kryptonite, he ends up back in Metropolis. I thought it was really cute when the moment he lands, he's in Clark outfit and everything, and he pretty much text messages Kara saying, "I miss you already," which I thought was like the cutest thing in the world. It shows how amazingly close their bond is. It's like, they're not even like cousins to me. They're like more like siblings because of this. They're making them seem more like sibling bond instead of cousin bond in this show, which I really, really adore. But, we also get this moment where Kat advises Kara, because Kara does complain to Kat about Snapper Kara not letting her have an assignment and not acknowledging her as a reporter, and Kat's pretty much like, buck up, fight for yourself, prove him wrong, and be an amazing reporter. And she also tells Kara this sad news, which also made me cry, because it's like, I love Kat. Kat Grant is amazing, and the actress who plays Grant really does her justice, really does. And the fact that she said, Kat herself told Kara that, I think in the middle of the episode she says that she's going to have a leave of absence at Catco to go on other adventures, right? And she also mentions it to Supergirl when Supergirl goes there in costume, right? And it's really sad to see Kat go, because Kat, she's an amazing bond with Kara, and it's amazing bond. It's just sad to see her leave, and I have a feeling I know why, mainly because of the actress, but we also found out that she, in her leave of absence, she put James Olsen in charge of Catco in her stead, which is pretty cool promotion, not gonna lie. And also, Kara manages to prove her value to Snapper Carr, which is pretty cool, and he agrees to teach her, which I think is pretty interesting. Of course, he's like, I'm never gonna like you, but fine. I'll teach you, you know what I mean? He's reluctantly teaching her, right? But like I said, it was a very bittersweet thing, Kara and Clark separating, him going back to Metropolis, and hearing that Kat is going on a leave of absence, it's depressing for me. But anyway, back at the DEO, Kara's talking to the unconscious alien that came in the pod, and, she's like, when you wake up, I know what it's like to be alone in this world, and when you wake up, I'll be there for you. And the moment she says that, though, he wakes up and literally attacks her. So, I don't know if this is gonna be a good thing, like, if he's gonna be a good guy or not, but anyway, it's a bittersweet episode. They didn't last very long, the Metallo he didn't last very long, and seeing Kat leave and Clark leave, it was just bittersweet. But I love this episode, so this is my reaction rant to Supergirl Season 2, Episode 2, The Last Children of Krypton.